What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Texas Honda Channel. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. So today I'm going to be showing you and going over some important K24 Em2 swap information. Some of this information I couldn't even find on the internet. I just figured it out on my own going to the junkyard. So we're going to go ahead and get started. One of the first things I wanted to point out was the D17 radiator. You can't use it for the K-swap because where the location for the top is, and you can see the difference on this one over here where it's at. The lower one's in the right spot on both of them, but then that brings me to my other thing. This one has a sensor on it that you need to wire in for your fans if you're not using K-Pro. This one came out of a 2005 Civic Hybrid, and it bolts in just like factory. You don't have to do anything special. It literally just bolts right in. You will have to run the fans that come on that radiator because the ones on this one do not fit and swap over. So that's important to know. And with this one here, you won't have to run a slim fan just to fit it in. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This one right here just goes right in, and it looks exactly like the factory. You can also run the AC condenser with this one. Now, if you go with the Civic Si EP3 radiator, you might lose your AC compatibility. I'm not exactly sure, but everyone's saying just run the EP3. But this one fits better, and you can use the factory brackets, as you can see, just like that. So it bolts in exactly like factory. I'd rather go with that because it looks more stock that way. I mean, we can go with an aftermarket one, but I just figured I would show you that. And this radiator only cost me $35. So now that we've got the cooling side of that figured out, I wanted to mention the AC. If you're wanting to run AC with the K24 or the K20, you can use the condenser that comes factory on the 2005 Civic Hybrid as well. The lines and everything run up the side and will bolt right back there, just like factory. And the AC compressor is even in the same location on the Civic Hybrid motor. So, also if you wanted to ditch your power steering off of the K20, I have mine looped, but you could get the electric steering rack out of the 2005 Hybrid. The reason I say 2005, I don't know the other years, but the one that I got this out of was a 2005, and I looked everything over. Also, the subframe looks like you could put a K20 on it. I'm not exactly sure if you can, but the mounts are moved over about 5-6 inches on both of those, and that's exactly how it is on the RSX subframe. So it would probably be just a straight over swap, but I can't guarantee that. So now we're going to go ahead and move over to the engine. Okay, so the engine is a K24 A8. It's not the 200 horsepower K-Series, but it can still be upgraded and made quick. This is a more affordable option because it's hard to find K20s in the junkyard, but if you do, jump on it. But this is a 5-speed. It came with pretty much everything. I had to buy the wiring harness separate, but $500 for the engine, transmission, and all that stuff. So that was at Budget Wrench Apart in Belton, Texas. But I had to get the cord shifter and the cord shifter linkages because you couldn't use just the normal shifter linkages out of this car. Now, if you're running the K20 engine and transmission, you can use the factory D17 manual transmission shift linkages. So that's pretty cool if you're running a K20. But as for the engine mounting, you can see this mount here. This is the factory RAA mounting for the Accord. You can't use this with the K-swap in any vehicle unless it's an Accord or a Element. But I ended up buying the bracket right here from an RSX, thinking, oh, that'll work. The mount, the Hassport mount, does bolt right up to it, no problem, but these bolt holes don't all line up. There's this bottom one down here was not right, so I had to go and get the one from a CRV with the K24 A1 or A2 in it, and this is the proper mount you need. So remember the CRV post mount for the passenger side motor mount. You have to run that to do a K-swap with the K24. So when I was at the junkyard, a smart thing that I did was take the electronic throttle off because I don't do drive-by-wire. I'm going to go with the throttle cable, and I took the bracket and cable as well off of an Accord, a 2003 to 2006 Accord with the cable throttle. The engine harness is a K24A4 engine harness, but it'll bolt right up. I just have to run a PND ECU out of a CRV, a manual transmission CRV. Then we can do K-Pro later on. I just want to get it running. So we got $500 wrapped up right here. I think it was like $530 for all of this that you see. And that mount over there was $4. So it was pretty cheap. And then we've got the radiator for $35. And the Hassport mounts were $530. You have to get the ESK4 mount kit for the EM2 2002 Civic. That's what I have here. And because it's a K24, you had to get the ESK4 kit. If you're just running a K20, you could get the ESK3 kit because the K20 transmission has different mounting locations. So that's what I've found so far. You will have to use an immobilizer if you're not running K-Pro. I'm not going to be running K-Pro right off the bat. I'm trying to make this as budget as possible. So I had to order like a $189 K-tuned immobilizer, which you just wire in. It's really easy. And I also had to order this for $150. This will allow the C101, I believe that's what it's called, the C101 connector. All of this is already ran. It even has the O2 sensor, primary O2 sensor already ran, so I just got to run that out. So I have the O2 sensor and then wire in the couple things to the ECU, and then that's it. Then the K-swap will go in and all of the stuff will be connected. I do have to put the RSX subframe in. I'm still waiting on that and shipping. And then I'm going to be running EP3 CV axles. That way I can keep my 4-lug. If you want to run 5-lug, you can just use the like RSX Type S or whatever it is. CV axles, they're a little bit bigger, but the EP3 ones fit right in this year with no problem, and that way you can run the 4-lug, which I like these wheels and I don't care to switch to 5-lug. It's whatever. But yeah, that helps someone out there. I still have a little bit more to figure out and do, and then we can have this K-series in and up and running. But I won't be doing the AC right off the bat, but I will eventually put it in and do video for you guys, show you how all that works. But yeah, just bear with me, guys. I'm waiting on parts still because of all this crap that's going on. Shipping's a little bit slow. But I also ordered a power steering delete, which also will allow me to delete the AC temporarily. It'll come with a shorter belt, so it won't have AC right off the bat, like I said. But that'll go in place of this tensioner, and then we can run the alternator and all that. One other thing I do remember is I have to relocate the battery to the back. That's as simple as running some power wires to the trunk, screwing in a battery box, putting the battery back there with a little vent tube, and we're good to go. But so far, so good. It's going pretty well. But I need to get this engine in soon before my warranty expires, so that way I know it's a good engine. So if it's not, I can go back and get a good engine from the junkyard. But I'm trying to do this as budget as possible, and I'll have a video on the price of everything once it's in and installed. I'm keeping my receipts so that I can get you an exact number of how much you can get it done for. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely hit the like button, drop a comment below, and check out some of my other videos, because I have way more on this channel and my other channel. So link will be in the description for my other channel if you wanted to check it out. I painted this car on that channel, so you can definitely check that out. But I'm going to get off here, so I'll see you guys in the next one. As I like to say, God bless, stay safe, stay awesome.